In this video, I'm going to share with you 7 reasons to start an online business if you're over 50 especially. Hi, I'm Camille Gaines here, and on my website, retirecertain.com, I share what we learned on our adventure from an uncertain financial future to financial independence beginning around age 50 after we sort of accidentally stumbled into early retirement. And we used both traditional investments like stocks and bonds, but we also added in some alternative income streams and some other retirement strategies that are really pretty much ignored by traditional retirement planning. And I created this channel and website to inspire others to see what's possible, to think beyond the limited thinking that we always hear about in retirement so they can live well and have the life that you want. Now, in this video, I want to share with you these 7 reasons why I think everyone should consider starting an online business, especially if you're over 50. Here are the reasons, and make sure you stay tuned for the last reason because it's the best, okay? And if you like this information, this type of thing interests you, subscribe to my channel and ring that little bell so you know when I post new videos. All right, the very first reason to start a new or an online business after age 50-ish is that we know a lot of stuff, right? By the time we're 50 years old, we've learned several things really well, right? And we're able to talk about that or write about that or put together something around that topic that we've come to know so well. Now, don't think that when I throw out, talk about it or write about it, that it has to be the model for your online business has to be either, doing a YouTube video, which I know most people hate doing videos. It doesn't bother me. I think it's kind of fun, but it doesn't have to be videos or it doesn't have to be writing. So don't limit your thinking around that. But I just want to throw out that we know a lot about stuff and we can reach a global market, which is point number 2 or reason number 2. We can reach a global market with whatever it is we decide to do for under $10. Seriously. I mean, the opportunities that exist now to reach a global market when it used to cost, $100,000, right, to build out a local brick and mortar store. It's absolutely overwhelming. Not only can you just reach the neighborhood, people that are around you when you have that brick and mortar store, you can reach the whole world if you choose to do that. So the opportunity is absolutely incredible. And I think, like my kids' generation is just, they're going to see this and go, wow, that was an incredible opportunity that my parents had. And so recognize the opportunity there and that we live in unprecedented times for this opportunity. There's still plenty of room to get in and do something online. So don't feel like there's not, and just see the opportunity for what it is. All right, the next reason to start an online business is because you can do something that you like doing. So when I said we all know a lot about 2 or 3 things by the time we're older, over 50, we don't have to choose something that's like career based or business based. There are people that have made a lot of money from, writing about dogs or talking about other types of things, sports or children or, whatever it is. There's a million ways and a million topics, I should say, that people want to learn about. And so you can choose something that you really enjoy doing. Now, I tend to be a business and financial person by nature, so I do think it's super important to make sure the market makes sense before you venture into something, and don't just say, oh, this is my passion. I've always wanted to teach, whatever people over 80 about astrology, right? But I do want to say that you can do something that you like. Like, I've always enjoyed investing. I miss being able to talk about investing with people simply because it has nothing to do with the change that's happened in our world recently, but it's just that people are uncomfortable talking about money. And so with Retire Certain, I can write about money, I can talk about money, and the people that are interested in that can come to me and find me and engage. Whereas, if you go to a cocktail party and you say, hey, have you set up any new income streams or, whatever in retirement, it's just not everyday conversation, right? And so this is something that interests me, that I've always loved learning about and talking about. It really excites me. So you can create an online business around something that you love. Another example is my husband is a professional options trader. He did that for decades in his work. And one of the things he said before we moved back from overseas, that if he did something else, that something that appealed to him was teaching people, period. And he said, but I don't have a PhD, so I couldn't do that. Well, guess what? He didn't have to do it. That was one of the other businesses that we started, teaching people to trade options, because he had done that in his career and that was what he loved doing. So it can be something that is business related, but it doesn't have to be. And it can be about something that you're passionate about, that you're really, really interested in. So keep that in mind as well. Now, the next reason to start an online business is that your offerings can provide a lot of fulfillment. What we found about this is that it's very, very fulfilling to be able to serve a market that we are interested in serving. It's fun to be able to help people, and when you do that and you hear from people, wow, this really helped me, thank you so much, it's so rewarding and it's so fulfilling, much more than other things that I find that I tend to spend my time on when I'm not working on my online business, running errands or organizing the house, or whatever it is that I don't remember, that I really don't feel like has any significance as far as creating positive change in the world. So it's really fulfilling to be able to do that and contribute to society at a time when everyone assumes you're going to be scaling back, right? The next reason to start an online business is that you can build a marketable asset. Now, let me tell you what I mean by that. A marketable asset is just something that you can sell. So a lot of people assume that, or they think about, I should say, getting started with an online business, they think about, well, I'll be able to generate income. How will I get revenue from this online business? Is it from advertising, on my website or on my YouTube channel? Or is it from, selling a course? Or is it from people coming to me for consulting? Or is it, getting paid by sponsors? There's all these different ways to make money online, which is really cool. But you can build a marketable asset with certain guidelines, and we learned this the hard way, really, and we kind of didn't think about it when we got started. Our goal was to generate income so we wouldn't have to dip into our retirement savings and start taking those retirement withdrawals so early, right? But as it turns out, gosh, we built a marketable asset, more than one marketable asset online. So you can actually build a marketable asset. It's not just about, generating income later in life. It's also about building wealth over 50. And that's not usually the focus of traditional, retirement planning or financial planning. It's about growth, and then it's about income so you can pay your bills, right? If you cut your expenses back, right? Which I've got other videos on this I'll link to that you can watch on that. But my point is that you can build an asset by building an online business, and there is a very, very viable market for this. Okay, now that leads to the next reason to start an online business, and that is just because as I've touched on, there's so many different opportunities that can come from this. In addition to building a marketable asset, you can pick any one of a number of different revenue streams to get started, and then you can just go from there. For example, it's easy to get started with consulting income, and then from that doing group programs or doing some sort of digital program, or you can have a membership, or you can have ads on your website or ads somewhere else, or you can have sponsors, or you can do joint ventures. There's so many different ways that you can generate income from an online business. Now, that next tip I wanted to share with you is, it's so huge for people that are over 50, and that is the risk is minimal. It's non-existent, really. I mean, sure, you've spent your time if you build an online business and you build your own website. And I build my own website now because I wanted to be able to just jump in and make changes, and I just didn't find it that hard anymore. Starting out, I used to hire someone to build our websites. But you can, have an online presence, but start an online business for less than, I say $10, really. And what you risk is your time and your effort. Or you can buy an online business and you're going to have more risk. It's really all about your risk profile and what works for you. But if you want to do this without risk, you absolutely can. And the older we get, we've found the less risk we want because, well, we don't have time to make up for mistakes, right? And that's a core principle in retirement planning and financial planning is scale back your risk as you get older in case you do run into a bear market and you're loaded up on stocks, or in case, something else does happen to your financial plan. It's scaling back that risk. And so once you're over 50 and you want to reduce that risk, starting an online business is a fantastic way to do that, simply because, as I mentioned earlier, it takes just nothing to get started. If you found this helpful, watch this video next.